mich hüten davor, das so immer zu betiteln oder wirklich auch das zu wissen, es sei denn, ich habe da auch ein klares Wort oder eine Prophetie darüber.
I think it also shouldn't be our heart to say, God, I want revenge for that. I want you to punish them.
Und ich denke, wir sollten uns auch unser Herz bewahren, dass wir nicht schnell sind und sagen, oh, ich möchte, dass es dafür endlich eine Bestrafung gibt oder da muss irgendwas passieren.
Even though I would understand people feel that way.
Auch wenn ich das gut verstehen kann, wenn manche das so denken oder das so sagen.
I remember a time when some of our staff here from Nigeria had family back in Nigeria that was being slaughtered by Muslim neighbor groups.
Ich kann mich noch gut erinnern an eine Zeit, wo einige Mitarbeiter hier aus Nigeria Familie oder Freunde zu Hause haben, die von muslimischen Terrorgruppen auch umgebracht wurden oder verfolgt wurden.
And I think when it hits you yourself, when you're in that situation, of course it brings out things like, God, judge them for that.
Und wenn das dir so nahe geht und dich persönlich betrifft, dann kommt das schon auch in dir hoch, dass du sagst, hey Gott, oh, dafür musst du die bestrafen, die müssen dafür was abkriegen.
God, destroy them, they're so evil.
Gott, zerstör du sie, die sind so schlimm.
Maybe we see a little bit of that kind of feeling in Nahum as well.
Vielleicht sehen wir auch ein bisschen von diesem Gefühl hier in Nahum.
But for me today, I don't go thinking like, God, destroy them and judge them, because I just have this assurance that God is the righteous judge and that He does take care of His world.
Aber ich gehe auch nicht durch die Welt und sage, also Gott, die und die musst du richten und die musst du richten und die musst du zerstören, weil ich einfach das Bewusstsein habe, dass Gott der gerechte Richter in der Welt ist und das macht.
Okay, going back again to this about not judging, using something that happens to judge a nation, but also judge that nation for their sins. I feel like there's a double standard in that, because, for example, with I think it was Omri who killed Basha, and
Or Zimri, and only Zimri.
oh yeah, Zimri, yeah.
Zimri.
Yeah, Zimri killed Basha, and like it says that it was already said before that the dynasty of Basha's father would end, and so like it's like, okay, so God used that to end, but then He's angry at Zimri for killing the family. So like why?
We see the same thing with Jehu then, who is
Yeah.
told by God
Yeah.
to kill several kings, and then afterwards he's still judged for it himself.
Yeah, so like what's that then?
It's the same as with the Assyrians. They're used by
Yeah.
God to punish Israel, and at the same time they're later judged for it.
Yeah, so isn't that a double standard then?
That's like what Judas, right? He had to do it, but still like God didn't.
He didn't have to do it, did he?
With Jehu, the way that Dino explained it is that he went a little overboard in his killing. He was too cruel. He killed all the king's sons, for example, and clearly the Lord said, you have so much blood on your hands, and this is what I'm going to end your dynasty for at some point.
Also bei Jehu war das nochmal, wie es Vino schon beschrieben hat, dass er einfach so wild das ausgeartet ist und er weit über das Ziel hinausgeschossen ist und dass er noch die Söhne und so alles dazu umgebracht hat. Und weil er so extrem gehandelt hat, dass dadurch auch das Gericht für ihn kommen wird.
With the Assyrians, we clearly also saw today that they did many things that were not on God's heart at all.
Und bei den Assyrern, das sehen wir ja auch ganz deutlich, sie haben viele Dinge ausgeübt, die Gott überhaupt nicht auf dem Herzen lagen.
Even if God sent them to bring His punishment on Judah, or first on Israel and then on Judah, doesn't mean He wanted them to be cruel like them.
Auch wenn Gott die Assyrer benutzt hat, dass sie Gericht bringen über Israel und dann auch über Juda, wollte er mit Sicherheit nicht, dass es so gewalttätig und grausam stattfindet.
But I also realize that your question is something for us to wrestle with.
Aber ich glaube, deine Frage, damit kann man schon ganz schön umkämpfen.
And it's something, like I said already, that Habakkuk also wrestled with.
Und das ist auch etwas, womit Habakuk sehr gekämpft hat.
Yeah, we don't have a good answer, but they gone very extreme, like Jehu. We see another example, looking at Josiah or Joshua being killed by his servants. So his son, when it is came to reign, Amaziah, so he killed all the servants, but he didn't kill the children of the servant who already killed his father. So there is a kind of judgment is there, but it did not lead to their children. For example, in Deuteronomy 24:70 or somewhere, you don't punish the children. You can punish, like in a law of the Lord, you say that if it is somebody made a mistake, that person need to be punished, not to generation. But here, Jehu went a little more far. He killed all the Ahab's son. That's kind of going towards more extreme. So God used his character, but it does means that God was there with all his activities.
And
In the
and God did judge.
Yeah, that's the reason God judged for his brutality. Yeah.
Yes.
So see in that perspective.
So the judgment is like to let a permanent life. But do I make me understand? No.
To leave the remnant.
The judgment is to leave the remnant.
Uh-huh.
Yes, this was part of the judgment. Definitely something we see with Judah. Then a remnant, a faithful remnant, came out of this judgment, and God continued to work with them.
Also der Überrest, das ist eine Idee, die da ist, dass nicht alles komplett ausgelöscht wird, sondern bei Judah dann zum Beispiel gab es den treuen Überrest, mit dem Gott dann weitergearbeitet hat.
Which shows us God's mercy on the people.
Auch da sehen wir Gottes Barmherzigkeit über die Menschen.
So God would prefer to leave, like, the Assyrians were a horrible people, right? So God would prefer that someone didn't oppress them, that he would judge them, and like, I don't know if that makes any sense. What am I saying? Like, what would be if God doesn't, I don't know, if God doesn't want an evil people to exist, but he doesn't want people to do evil to the evil people, then would his preference be just to, like,
Strike them with lightning?
yeah, I don't know. What would be his solution to that? I don't know.
Send a prophet
Yeah.
and try and change their ways.
Possibly. I think you're onto something there. Because in the Old Testament we see so much how God uses cruel peoples to punish other people for their sins. But is that really God's heart for these people to be so cruel? Not really, yeah?
Sometimes he also uses family or he uses some other circumstances to make people aware of things. Like you said, he weakens a kingdom through other circumstances too.
When Jonah came to preach to the Assyrians.
Not always, but sometimes. Or the prophet.
Yeah, I mean, this would be opening up a big can of worms here, but like, I think the thing that I struggle so much with is, guys. Because, people in the States, where I come from, have such strong opinions about, like, righteous, I don't know how you want to call it, righteous acts of war, let's call it that. And I don't like it, but I don't know what solutions to give. So, I guess this, to me, is like, it's like a really personal topic. Yep.
And I think it's a very big question, and it even connects with the whole conquest of Canaan, for example, where God commanded Israel to do some pretty cool things themselves, and how we understand and how we deal with that.
Ja, ich glaube, es ist eine sehr große Frage und dann geht es auch zurück so ein bisschen zur Eroberung des verheißenen Landes. Auch da hat Gott ja gewisse Dinge von seinem Volk erwartet oder verlangt, dass sie da Land einnehmen. Mussten auch gewisse Gewalttaten ausüben.
Which are also described as God's judgment over the Canaanites who lived there.
Und das auch als eine Art Gericht bezeichnet wird für die Völker oder die Leute, die im Land leben.
And there are also many ways that this is explained. Some of them are pretty new to me and make me a little bit uncomfortable.
Und manche Sachen werden dann auch vielleicht durch gewisse Sachen erklärt und manche dieser Erklärungen, da fühle ich mich gar nicht wohl dabei.
But I think one thing I'm very sure about is that today God doesn't have this one nation that He calls to make war and all the others to punish them.
Aber wo ich mir sehr sicher bin, dass Gott nicht ein Land oder eine Nation erwählt, um Gericht über andere zu bringen.
I don't think that today there's this one just nation
Ich glaube nicht, dass es heute die eine gerechte Nation gibt,
who God calls to make holy war and who will go under God's banner as they go into war.
ein Land, das Gott praktisch beruft, dass es sein Land ist und sein Instrument für Krieg ist, um dann einen heiligen Krieg unter seiner Flagge zu führen.
I think what is true, what we see true in the book of Nahum, is also true today, that when one nation oppresses another nation, they bring judgment on themselves.
Aber was wahr ist, und das siehst du auch im Nahum, ist, dass wenn ein Land irgendeine Sache einem anderen Land antut, dann bringen sie mit dieser Tat auch Gericht über sich selbst.
And that is true, in my opinion, for any nation, including the United States, including even the nation of Israel.
Und das stimmt für jedes Land, ob das jetzt die Staaten sind oder ob das Israel ist.
God sees what is happening, what is the violence, the bloodshed,
Gott,
and ultimately He will also bring justice for that.
Gott sieht, was passiert, er sieht das Blut vergießen und deshalb wird es dann auch irgendwann Gericht dafür geben.
That's the heart of God that I see in the Bible, and it's not partial. It doesn't just apply to some people, not to others.
Und ich denke, das ist Gottes Herz und es ist nicht so, dass das nur ein Teil der Leute oder der Länder betrifft, sondern es ist allgemeingültig.
Throughout the Bible, God's heart is for the oppressed.
Und in der Bibel sehen wir immer wieder, dass Gottes Herz für die Unterdrückten schlägt,
For those who are helpless, for those who cry out
für die
for help.
Hilflosen, für die Hilfe brauchen und ausschreien nach Hilfe.
He's always going to be the God of the underdog.
Er ist immer der Gott für die unterdrückt werden.
And he doesn't delight in when people using their power to oppress others.
Und es bereitet ihm auch keine Freude, wenn ein Volk ihre Macht oder die Macht ausübt und damit ein anderes Volk unterdrückt.
That's not God's way.
Das ist nicht Gottes Weg.
From the very beginning we saw that he tried to put an end to this. Like when people went and founded Babylon,
Und das siehst du gleich am Anfang an, als die Menschen losgezogen sind, um Babylon zu gründen.
this ancient civilization of evil,
Die alte Zivilisation, die auf so viel Bösen basiert,
he dispersed them at the Tower of Babel.
die hat er dann zerteilt und zerstreut am Turm von Babel.
And God himself, he set up this counter kingdom, this kingdom of Israel, to show the world how he did want people to live.
Und er hat ein anderes Königreich geschaffen und will damit eigentlich zeigen, was seine Absicht ist, wie die Menschen miteinander leben sollen.
And when they became just as violent and oppressive as all the other nations around them, he clearly showed that that was not his way, that was not okay.
Und als dann sein Volk sich den anderen Nationen mehr oder weniger angepasst hat, genauso gewaltsam geworden ist, dann hat er auch Gericht ausgeübt, um zu zeigen, nee, so will ich das eigentlich nicht.
Then what is God's way?
Was ist denn dann Gottes Weg?
Where do we see God's way the clearest?
Wo sehen wir denn Gottes Wege am deutlichsten?
It's clearly in Jesus.
Ganz klar am deutlichen Jesus.
And how did Jesus deal with violence?
Wie ist Jesus mit Gewalt umgegangen?
In a completely different way than anything that we've discussed today. Yeah?
Er
If
war
someone
so,
strikes you on your cheek, you don't cut off their head.
er war so komplett anders als alles andere in Bezug auf Gewalt. Und er hat gesagt, wenn jemand dich ins Gesicht schlägt, dann hast du dem anderen nicht den Kopf abgehauen.
In the Old Testament law, maybe it said you can strike them back on the cheek, but just once.
Im Alten Testament findest du vielleicht dann eine Antwort, wo gesagt wird, du kannst zurückschlagen, aber nur einmal.
And Jesus said, no, don't give back violence, but actually be ready to suffer more, to take up more violence in yourself.
Und Jesus hat gesagt, nein, sei lieber bereit, noch einen Schlag einzustecken, dass du die Gewalt praktisch in dich aufnimmst und es dort aus ist.
Because with all of this assurance that we have that one day God will judge,
Und mit dieser Sicherheit, dass wir wissen, dass Gott eines Tages kommt und das Gericht bringen wird,
it also should give us the power that we don't need to take judgment into our own hands now.
sollten wir wissen und merken, dass wir heute nicht das Gericht in unsere Hand nehmen müssen,
But that we can learn to live like Jesus, to react like Jesus.
und dass wir lernen, so wie Jesus zu reagieren und auch so zu leben, wie er gelebt hat.
God, I thank you that we can know that you are in control. And it's so good that you are. You're the just King, the one whom we can trust. That you will deal well even if we don't see it yet, even if we don't understand everything. We can place our trust in your character. And we know that this world is truly in your hands, that you have power and authority over it all. Nothing that happens in this world is hidden from you, God. And God, there are so many questions. And many things we wrestle with, but help us to live like people who have that trust in you. Help us to come to peace with things that we see in the world and in our own lives, or where we can't come to peace. Help us to keep bringing it to you. And help us ourselves to live as people after your heart. God, we're not immune from thoughts of retribution and even violence, but help us to have that heart that we see in Jesus. May our hearts be at peace in you. May our hearts be continually transformed by you. In Jesus' name.